Silver Age is a hot new format that LSS has used their sage wisdom to create, and it's got everyone excited. You get the core gameplay of Fab without feeling like you are priced out of the competitive format. It's accessible, it's fast paced, and beginner friendly, and as much as getting your teeth kicked in can be because experience still helps with play mistakes and you winning games. But first, I'm Will.
I'm Ning.
I'm Evan.
And before we continue and jump into Silver Age, or what we're going to lovingly call Sage, and talk about what we learned since last week, I'm going to give a shout out to two people. First, Justin. Thank you for coming on the podcast last week. Appreciate that. His Pleiades gameplay was, or his thoughts on that was very cool. And then second to that wonderful introduction written by Ning and Evan. They're the geniuses that came up with that hook. So thank you guys. Appreciate it. Because my brain was not there.
Yeah, Sage is pretty cool, you know? It's like CC's little sibling.
Oh no.
This
Oh
guy.
no.
That was perfect.
Oh.
And for those behind the scenes, they rewritten my intro because I was like, it's like it's little siblings. And they were like, no. Anyways, love it, Evan. So before we talk about Silver Age and kind of give people like what we know for sure and then our speculations on the format, let's talk about what we learned since last week. Right? Ning, I know you've been out of town. Have you been able to play any Flesh and Blood?
Nah, not a one.
Huh.
Too busy working.
I know he's been ditching me on Talishar too. I felt a little slighted there, right? And then
Will was like messaging me every day, like, "Hey, little Talishar for lunch." I'm like, "Will, I'm in the HQ office. What are you talking about?
Dude.
I got eyes everywhere."
Is that why Ning, when you and I during lunch were playing Talishar, you were like, please don't tell Will.
Yeah.
He'll get so jealous.
It's fun.
I've been for those. I go hide in the bathroom. You know.
He's on the phone.
Like, make sure he can't see you.
Yeah, he just
That's
randomly
right,
makes those
exactly.
farting noises when people are coming to the stall, so it's like he's playing up the thing. Got the little fart spray.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that sounds like Ning.
Yeah, sounds like just like what he would do. Not anyone else here, right? Evan,
Absolutely.
what did you learn since last week?
Yeah, so I have been playing a lot of Living Legend. We got a second pro quest in the local area. This one's all about LL. So I've been dipping my toes in the format. It's a format, all right, but my favorite hero does exist in the format, so I'm trying her out.
That's the Lexi Ranger, right?
Yeah, talking about Lexi Livewire.
I remember you're bringing her into Blitz, which is kind of ironic because we're talking about Silver Age today. And there's some degenerate stuff you did to me in that Blitz format. I was like, how's this hero even possible in this format? So it's pretty interesting. Right.
It could have been more degenerate.
Yeah. So you've been testing out your stuff.
Yeah.
I'm still waffling if I want to throw my hat in that ring. I don't think it's going to be a big PQ because it's Living Legend, but sometimes you're surprised,
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure how big it'll be, but it'll be fun.
We've had Living Legend events before, right, Evan? How big were those turnouts?
We had a couple Living Legend armories back when CC sucked. There was like a brief period of time when Zen was broken, and
that's right.
There was enough disruption in LL to make Zen less broken. And we got so sick of playing CC, we just said, okay, let's play LL.
Yeah.
But we've never had like a PQ or anything that was LL.
I don't think so, but maybe. I've never been to one, so.
Gotcha.
And I think for our listeners, one of the new things we're doing is we're going to start putting timestamps down below. So if you want to just get into the meat and potatoes of the conversation, you could do so. It's now your option. I've been getting used to these timestamp things. I haven't noticed that the last few weeks they've been broken because I didn't know they go into hour, minutes, seconds, milliseconds like we do in our editing software. So I figured out you don't do the milliseconds. It's fine. So timestamps down below with all relevant links.
Nice.
Evan, did you learn anything else this week or just the LL?
That's the main thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know with my LL, if I play, I got some of the last bit of chain cards in. I figured I have all the Vincent cards. They kind of double over for the chain. I heard he's kind of aggro slanted, so I'm hoping that there's some translation there. But I've never played it, so we'll see how that works. I learned that.
RuneGate chain is pretty good. So
Mhm.
if you own all the Vincent cards, like I think it translates pretty seamlessly.
That's what I'm hoping.
What about Corsham Aurora?
I mean, Corsham Aurora is tier 0. I think it's just a hidden deck nobody knows exists. But
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
once like it's a solve format the moment Ning gets there with his
Yeah.
Corsham Aurora.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see. If I join, it'll probably be try out Briar or play Aurora.
Yeah.
Call it a day.
Yeah. So I mean, that's be interesting. I learned, man. So KO's so unfavored into Gravy Bones, first or second doesn't matter. That I actually was playing with Paul's Gravy, our local player. We've had him on the cast before, and it's such a hard thing to get on Gravy because he could just come out over the top and he's disrupting your numbers. And with KO, you kind of got to swing these large numbers each turn. So I'm trying to figure out that matchup. Finally, I was like, okay, what happens if I just swing to the face, right? And that was the closest I got. But still, it's always close with Gravy, but he always pulls out ahead. And I don't think I've beaten Paul's Gravy Bones.
Why is that? Because I would assume because doesn't KO as a brute do pretty well going wide for the most part?
So he possibly can, but a lot of the turns that you set up, the Gravy player has a lot of cards that kind of go against your KO. Anka to disrupt your Blood Rush Bellows and your draw and discard. Chum to take the primary attacks first, right? Which could be your bigger hitter if you're trying to follow up. Like, so you can't even do the common, let me swing something big to the face because they can activate. And any of your subsequent follow up turns or follow up attacks, even the claw, just has to go into Chum. So there's a little bit of that there where you really are trying to swing these attacks and you only have a very finite amount of tools to do so. And you have to either dedicate it to the pure allies, which is possibly one of the plays, and then you still got to work on Gravy Bones' life. So it's one of those things where you kind of got to push it, but you got to do that timing right. And I'm trying to learn that timing piece. So
And
Basically, they
is
should
Anka
ban Compass
is
and Gravy Bones as hero.
yeah, I don't
Wow.
mind it. Like it's like when people feel bad because they're playing a meta deck and they consistently win. To me, that's just a puzzle to solve because there's got to be tools to kind of make it at least a little bit more favored into that matchup. That's the positive way I'm thinking about it. But
You would think, wouldn't you?
and I know you're saying that from a Guardian's perspective because I did jump in with Pleiades and even trying to keep his allies off the board. The thing is, Gravy Bones can go pop off so hard and do 2 or 3 allies in one turn, and then still come over with a prismatic ley line, command of the conch. So it's not only just the allies; it's the conqueror of the high seas as well. So it's all these things that he got, it's all these tools, and then he can just poke you with little attacks too with the gold generator. So it's a combination of all these tools that really doesn't favor like I guess any of the players, but KO also doesn't have a lot of block cards most of the time. Vigorous Smash Up doesn't work on the
Yeah.
allies, so you can't clash with the allies, which is possible because
Mm,
that hurts Victor as well. So
that
it's
makes
like these
sense.
things that. So the only thing that really hurts Gravy is highly slanted aggro decks, Acilio, Syndra, maybe Dash IO, right? Um, Evan, do you have anything else that might take down a Gravy pretty easy?
Kano, I guess.
Yeah.
Just you basically play aggro or you lose to Gravy and cry. Some
Yeah.
Verdance players that are extremely smart can have figured out the matchup, but it
Yeah.
is tough.
Yeah. But it's a puzzle. I'm sure the ban list will probably tune him a little bit more. We'll see what happens. But that's CC, and we are moving on to the Silver Age. So I guess we could cover what we know for sure. And this is a kind of like a primer for anyone that's been living under a rock. I said that again previously. But, Silver Age has been out. People are curious about the format. Let's say if you have no knowledge of Silver Age, what do you guys know about Silver Age off the top of your head?
I mean, it's basically like
Well,
the new budget format, right? Like for the longest time, Commoner existed,
Yeah.
but nobody was really playing Commoner, and it was more of like a fan format, to be completely
yeah, I think when Will and I when we went to the calling in Memphis, they did have a commoner thing where the reward was if you got top place, you would get a gold foil.
Yeah, Commoner
And
Gold.
there
Yep.
was maybe 8 people max who joined that
Mhm.
That's
event.
crazy.
Yeah, and it was a
But
gold
yeah,
foil too. So
so
you
like
know,
this is like LSS apparently has gone in the tank, done a lot of research, a lot of testing.
Mhm.
This is the format that they got out of it, right?
Mhm.
It is in essence supposed to be a blitz replacement where
Yep.
only common rares and basic cards are legal, and it is young heroes, so 20 health heroes.
Yep.
And so it's meant to be sort of like an affordable yet like competitive event. We haven't had any big like blitz tournaments at like high levels like callings or whatever, because blitz has become like such an unbalanced format.
Yeah.
This is them, they're going out of the gate saying like this is going to be like a competitive format on the high levels. They currently have announced a couple battle hardens for it,
Yep.
and they've mentioned they're going to do callings for it, right? So this is like they're
I
actually
didn't know
putting
that.
stock into this format, right?
Yeah. And if you looked at their new website, they actually took common and moved it to the special format section, and they put, Silver
Same as Blitz.
Age, Sage right there as, as a competitive format. To follow up with what Evan was saying, a couple other things is your card pool size, like Classic Constructed, you start with 80. This one is 55, which includes your weapons, equipment, and deck. You know, your deck size is exactly 40 at the start. And then you're allowed to have two cards each, right? Just like Blitz in that way, except like what Evan was saying, common and rare. And again, the round timer is not 55 minutes; it's 35 minutes, best of one. All right, I think that's kind of quick start rules, and then you could throw everything together. But they also have a large list of banned cards, so you can't play, and we're going to cover that in a little bit. One thing to note that I thought was pretty interesting, and I was listening to the LSS's developer talk. I can't remember what the actual thing is called. Is developer talk?
It dev talks, yeah.
Dev talk, yeah. One of the things they said was if Bravo is the example they use, Bravo was printed as a rare, it counts as a rare even if it's reprinted as a majestic or was reprinted as a majestic previously. So the new printing for it is where it falls into. So maybe some of these majestics that were printed in the past get kind of tuned downward, right? Because they're restricted for maybe the sealed format at that time. So maybe we'll have majestics that were printed previously, printed in a rare format. That's kind of why I'm reading into it.
I mean, yeah,
So that's pretty
that's
interesting.
happened previously.
Hmm.
Like the commoner format was similar, where you can only play rare or lower rarity cards in commoner. And when it first happened, Icelander, for instance, was printed as a majestic,
Oh,
so she
interesting.
was not legal as a hero. And then later on, they printed her as like a token in
I
Uprising,
couldn't go.
so she
Mm,
became legal in the commoner format.
yeah. So you said it. What do you guys feel about the whole affordability aspect of this being common rares? From what I understand, I collect bulk because I'm a greedy bastard, right? And I love the bulk stuff that people just throw away. I was like, hey, you're throwing that out? I'll take that bulk. But this gives bulk a reason to stay in your bins, not your trash bins, but actually your card bins at home, right? Because aren't you using a lot of your bulk for these decks, right? So what do you think about the affordability piece of this?
I mean, that's the whole point, right? So I think overall, it's good because I know a lot of people on Reddit or Facebook or whatever. They're like, ah, yeah, the game seems pretty neat, I suppose, but like feels like you need to put down oodles of money to
Mm,
actually play the game. So I think if they create a format specifically for this, and it's not like Commoner where it's limited to just common cards, but you can actually use rare cards that give a little bit more depth into the format. I think overall it's pretty good.
yeah.
I haven't really tested it too much, but
No,
yeah,
I agree. It's like let's be real, Flesh and Blood has been doing a better job this year at reprinting cards to try to
Mm-hmm.
keep prices down.
Yep.
But
yeah,
when I say better job, I mean,
it's
in the
still pretty
past
expensive.
it was insanely expensive. It was
Yeah.
like a problem, and now like they're just starting to sort of solve the problem,
Mm-hmm.
right? Shelter from the Storm is like what, $120, and you need
Yep.
3 copies of it.
I
Yep.
I might be selling mine on a side note just because I know they're going to be reprinting the Shelter of the Storms. If not the
Yeah.
next set, then the set after, right? So might as well sell them when they're like, don't. This is not financial advice, guys. I'm just saying, like, I'm waffling on that too because I bought them when they were. I bought it from Ning when it was fairly well priced, and the other ones. So, anyways, yeah, it's crazy how expensive these cards are.
Yeah, so, and of course, like, Commoner has existed in the
Mhm.
past, but, like like I said, it wasn't, like, seen as, like, a supported format.
Yeah.
This is LSS going out of their way saying, like, "Hey, this is a format that we want to be competitive,"
Yep.
that I'm assuming, like, armories are gonna run Silver Age, people are gonna play it on Talishar in anticipation for, like, big tournaments, so it's
Yeah.
like people are more spike oriented, more wanting to play well at, like, professional levels. They will care about this format,
Yeah.
and then, like, that trickles down to, like, the more casual players at an armory
Yeah.
will say, like, we'll look at this format and say, like, "Hey, everybody's playing this format and it's cheap. I wanna join in."
Yeah.
And I
And
think that's awesome.
I love the aspect of it being commons and rares, and you can have a deck with you. So let's say someone new rolls up to your armory, and you have your highly tuned, very competitive CC deck, and they just bought an armory deck off the shelf. Well, now they have the option of doing the Silver Age decks, which we'll talk about in a second. But then you can bring out your Silver Age deck, and they actually have a good shot of learning the fundamentals of Flesh and Blood without getting blown out by these expensive cards. Because I know people are migrating from other card games, and I'm going to just shout it out here. Magic's not been doing really good at retaining their fan base, right? From the company's perspective, from the card game perspective. So people are looking for a competitive game that kind of reminds them of the high glory days of Magic back in the day, where they would go to these, high tournament events and try to play for, the competitive edge, the promo cards, the money. And yet, you know, now we got a format that's actually backed by LSS in Silver Age, and it's not commoner, so they're putting a lot more effort to keeping things balanced here. And it's not a fun format where, as Ning was saying earlier, we just play for a gold full. It's actually something that we could go and enter a calling for or battle hardened for, and that's exciting to me because now we're not saying, oh, it's whoever has the most expensive cards. It's now really it's about the fundamentals of Flesh and Blood, which is how it should always have been, you know?
And it
Uh,
gets even more exciting, right? Because what really made Flesh and Blood, like the CC format, what really made CC pop off was the armory decks, right?
yeah.
CC was like a lot easier to get in when they started making armory decks, and they're making those decks for Silver Age.
Yeah.
Like next year,
Mhm.
we are getting Silver Age pre-constructed decks. We're getting 10 of them around
Mhm.
February, I believe.
Yep. February 13th,
And
buddy.
the difference between an armory deck and a Silver Age like pre-constructed deck is they design the armory decks to be playable at the armory level,
Yes.
which means they're not great, but they're good enough that you don't feel like you're getting your ass beat super bad.
Yeah.
They designed the Silver Age decks to be competitive at a calling level. Their words, not mine,
Yes.
right out of the box.
Preach
So
it, brother.
you can literally buy a $20 deck,
Yeah.
and then you have a deck at the same power level of every single person in the room.
Yeah.
And that's kind of
And
insane.
the OP program, which we were going to talk about later, but we're going to just jump ahead because Evan, you just like segued right into that. Like, so LSS has been doing really great on doing the organized play format very well, both for CC and Armories, right? And this is their words, it's being touted as a $20 ticket, the price of a pre-constructed deck, to the $2 million Pro Tour, right? So, because they are doing the backing for the Battle Hardens and the Callings, this is something that you could really pick up the $20 deck, and they're saying you have a shot at winning the higher level tournaments. And I believe them because it's common and rares, right? They don't have to throw out all these majestics that are out of print. They could actually use common and rares to build a very solid deck based off that character's playstyle, which is even more exciting for new players because it's not this jumble of crap together. It's cards that actually plays toward a theme of that hero, which is fantastic. It's kind of built right there. So I
And
love that
Will, it
piece.
gets even better.
Ooh, tell me more,
These-
Evan.
These constructed decks, they come with a booster pack.
What?
Whoa!
I know. Oh, and they say pen is mightier than the sword. We'll talk about that in a second because that's a pun off the new set's 3 letters, pen. I don't know. Anyways, we'll be there. So it's exciting, right? I'm highly excited about this. $20. So what you're saying, Evan, is it's really $5 booster comes of the new booster set, PEN, comes in one of these Silver Age pre-constructed decks. So really, the commons and rares is probably about $15 worth of bulk. I can see that being
Yeah.
fairly well priced because you're getting the container for it. You're probably getting a couple shinies, and I've heard, not on the dev talk, but on something else they were saying that there might be some only Silver Age pre-constructed deck cards like that is.
That's how they get you every single time.
Well, it's kind of, look at the Terra First Strike deck. The Canopy Shelter was part of that Terra First Strike deck. It's a rare, right? And you had to buy the Terra deck to get the Canopy Shelter for the Florians, to play it, right? And that's your basic block 2, make a Might token. When he's online, you make 2 Might tokens. And it's a blue pitch. So they're going to have a couple of those kind of cards built into these pre-constructed decks too. So even players that might have had all the bulk will still probably purchase these for those rare only cards that are found in these decks. I'm okay with that. They gotta find the hook somewhere to kind of keep us coming back for our card addiction,
And another thing that these decks have that I've been complaining about with Armory decks, sideboards. They've got a fully tuned sideboard.
Oh, are they actually coming?
Do they?
Oh, interesting.
I did not even
it's
pick
a
that up.
55-card deck opposed to a 40-card deck with a.
So these pre-con decks are actually coming with 55 cards.
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah, they literally said you can bring it to like a calling and do well because
that makes sense.
Yeah, they got a sideboard.
I want to see somebody actually win with just a pre-con deck.
That would be fun.
I mean, wouldn't it be fun to just do like a Silver Age pre-constructed deck armory? Like you just show up with the pre-constructed deck and let's play. Like, play a tournament.
I'm sure they'll have events like that when the Armory decks release. But I mean, that's something we can talk about next year. That's a couple months away, but it is something to look forward to. Mm-hmm. And if you're looking at this format, you're kind of excited about this format. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be a good time. So keep an eye on this channel. We will definitely be talking about those decks.
Yep. So, and I know something that the Tunic Counter Gamers channel will start doing is something that Fab Squared, Evan's beloved child, is going to start doing. I'll give you a shout out here, Evan. You've been doing good work, man. You said you're going to start recording live games of Silver Age content. Is that what I'm hearing here on your channel?
Oh ho ho. God, I hope so.
I know, and I know I've been playing around with
the pressure's on
a couple of things where you get the Talishar games or like start streaming a little bit more. Trying to reduce my second job's work hours so I could do a little bit more content creation. And I'm hoping to get more gameplay film going on. So that's going to be exciting because Silver Age is going to be the new hotness. I know some of our locals are already playing it too.
Like me.
Yeah, I mean, so that being said, where else do you guys want to talk about the Silver Age? What we actually know, right?
I know. Maybe we should talk about we've sort of like been dancing around like, hey, here's what the format is. Here's some like products that LSS is releasing for the format. But maybe we should talk about the format itself.
Okay.
Because it's very different from just commons and rares and that's it.
Yeah.
Because they have a ban list already and it's a very extensive ban list. And it kind of like is indicative of the kind of format that it is. Like the ban list is so interesting that it is like shaping the format like single-handedly.
Yeah. And I know like we could go over all the ban lists, but we could take out a few cards that we want to really call out. And I'll go and switch over to our February screen so we can show the cards off. But we'll post the link down below for any of our listeners. If they want to just simply click on it, they'll see where this is in the card legality section. You got to scroll down to the Silver Age section, and then you'll be able to see all the ban list here. Evan, since you brought this up first, why don't you kick us off? What's the card that you're most surprised about so far? And we'll say top 3 for all 3 of us. That way we cover like 9 cards.
that are banned, or
yeah, the actual band, like that you're surprised. You want to talk about your hood?
well, no, I guess
Okay,
before
okay.
we talk about oh, don't worry, I'm gonna rant about the hood.
Okay.
But beforehand, I think the big cards that are like impactful, like the big reason why I say it's like this is such a different format.
hmm
Almost every single 4-block defense reaction is banned.
Okay.
So
Yep.
Sink Below is banned, Fate for Saint is
Yep.
banned, Flick Flack is banned,
Yep.
Rootbound Carapace is banned.
Yep.
Yeah,
Hell,
so
they even banned Sigil of Solace because no more 0 cast,
they
3
did not
point.
ban Sigil of Solace.
Oh, they did ban it.
Oh,
They
they
did.
did.
It sure and
Okay.
shit did. Right.
Easy.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did.
They also banned Fiddler's Green, which is also
Right.
similar.
Yeah, block 1 when it goes to graveyard, gain 3 life.
Yeah.
Sure. Fate Foreseen gone. Love it. All right. Get rid of these cards. I don't want to play them no more. All right. So it's fantastic.
And it's just indicative.
I wanted
of
another excuse to use the fancy Fate Foreseen.
Oh well, too bad. It's indicative of the kind of format they want this to be, right? Because like they want, like, they don't want like Fatigue to be super duper good, or at the very least you need to work for the defensive cards, right? So yeah, like a big portion of the cards that they touched are these sort of hyper defensive cards. There are some that they left out, and I feel like there's going to be like a shell of new generic defensive cards that will take their place. A big one is On the Horizon, which is the 4-block block card. That card was never good enough in CC or Blitz just because defense reactions existed, but I mean now it is.
Yep.
Yeah. So On the Horizon, but this is the actual block card, right? You're talking about more of your generic defense
Just
reactions
generic,
with the
like defensive cards. But there is also, I think, the actual defense reaction that they did not ban is actually Springboard Somersault.
Yeah. So, and it's interesting because this is a conditional. It's a conditional D-react for 4. So you have to work on this, right? So they're saying no more free 4-point values. They want you to kind of really stretch out your imagination and kind of work on this. You have to pin an arsenal. So you could kind of play around this where, to get the most value, sure. It's also a yellow pitch, so it's not bad, all considering. Actually, I might play this for my Fang deck. It's better than Piscolo.
No, Springboard is... In the past, Springboard has been quite good.
Yeah.
But it got kind of power crept out of like Blitz and CC. But
Makes sense.
now that the power level's gone like a bit further down in Silver Age, like I think it might see play.
Yeah.
Another big thing about Silver Age when we talk about defenses, and this goes back to sort of a complaint that I've had about CC and Blitz even. I was never a great fan of all the 4-block defense reactions that are generic, just because like it just means every deck is the same, right? Like every deck runs Shelter, every deck runs Sink, and then all of a sudden, like, if everybody's running the same cards, like it just like there's less deck diversity, So for the longest time, I was like in favor of banning some of the more powerful generic defense reactions, and then just like introducing new powerful defense reactions for like each of the individual classes, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so going on that, Evan, Sigil of Suffering, like you said, a Runeblade specific D-react, not banned, not touched. This does get you like closer to 4 or 5 points of value depending on how you get it. So they're leaving class identities alone, which is why I think they really did a good job at really tuning down the generic reactions and really letting people have their tools kind of come out again. So you're not, like you're saying, a vanilla, let me throw all the D-reacts in there. Now let me go into my class identity and see what I could create from that. And I love that piece.
Because there do legitimately still exist good defense reactions. They're just like class specific. So Sigil of Suffering is a great example. The Rune Chant one, I believe, also still exists. I forget
Yeah.
what it's called. Reduced to Rune Chan, I think.
Oh, that's it. That's it.
No.
Yeah.
Reduced to rune chance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's like these are great defense reactions for Runeblade specific decks, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, for instance, Rangers get Take Cover, which is another good 4-block defense reaction.
Yep.
And
Look at this face, by the way. Sorry. Love the art.
Yeah, art's cool in this card.
Yep.
And then, like, other classes like Warriors, for instance, they still get Steelblade Supremacy, which is such a powerful card. And they didn't touch Oasis Respite, so you do still get Oasis.
Now, Steelblade Supremacy is the Majestic. You're talking about Steelblade Shunt.
Yes, Shunt. That's the one I was talking about.
But look at this above rate value, right, at the cost of 1. And a lot of people don't play this. Even the blue is a D-React for 4. So in Silver Age, this might actually be coming out as a good D-React to actually have, which opens up other avenues, which is fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. So it's just like class identity. Like, they got rid of a lot of the generic problematic cards, and then now all of a sudden, like, class identity can shine a little brighter, because, like, even though it seems like this is like such a low powered format compared to like CC or Blitz, if you look at some of the crazy things that can still happen in this format, like a lot of the power plays that existed in CC are still here, right?
Yeah.
A big example is Test of Strength is still legal. So Victor can still block with Test of Strength and then draw a card.
Yeah.
Right? So that's insane.
Yeah. And then, but they also, you know, we're talking about testing, and I'm going to actually touch on one of the first banned cards, Flick Flack. It was a ninja defense reaction, 4-block, but it could also give a future value to a next card combo at +2. So this is way above rate. They took it up because, you know, they didn't want to give above rate cards that every ninja would try to play. Now they did keep the Tiger defense card in. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, Tiger Eye Reflex.
That's
but that card's not. That card was never an issue. Is the thing.
Yeah.
Flick Flack was definitely an issue. I think, like, back in the early days of Blitz, people were calling for a Flick Flack ban because it was so broken. So that one's a bit pushed, but yeah, I do wish, as a ninja player myself, I do wish we had Flick Flack. Yes,
poor card.
Yeah, I was looking at
one day it'll shine.
But here's the thing about that too. One of the things, I'm not sure if we really honed in on this piece of it, but, you know, we did say that they're hoping that this is a evergreen format for our heroes. So, you know, in Blitz, heroes would come in, they'll LL, and this one is the hero. They want you to be able to play with all the heroes, and then there's like an evergreen format. So they always want you to be able to play your heroes, never get like them cycling out. They might ban a few of the cards going into the future formats, but if you want Chain and you want to play Chain, you could, by all means, buy the Chain Blitz deck, take out any of the Majestics that might come in there, and you have yourself a nice, you know, start to a Silver Age deck. You know, you still might need to add some other things in there because that was before the Silver Age recons came out, but that's something that they could still use old Blitz decks for, right? So Blitz is going to the wayside.
That's why the ban list is so extensive.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're trying to balance this in a way that all the heroes are still legal, because certain formats like LL have issues where LL currently, like, every hero is legal, but like 5 of them are good.
Yeah.
So they're trying to stop that. They want, like, it actually to be a wide open format. And at the moment, it's looking pretty wide open.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of different heroes can do a lot of very powerful things. And as I sort of mentioned, like, yeah, the power level's lower, but there's still some insane stuff that, like, every hero gets. I mentioned Test of Strength with Victor, but, like, cards like Wild Ride, for instance, in KO, and Bear Fangs, those are some of the strongest cards KO has access to.
Yep.
Those are both commons, so you can still do that here, right?
You also get your fun beaten trackers, right? So with those kind of cards, You can still do the Savage Feast beating trackers, to get your action point to go pretty long. So definitely got playability there. So
Yeah.
So I think that was a pretty good conversation. How about this ban list, Evan? You want to go first to say anything else you're most surprised about on this ban list itself?
I mean, I'm gonna now bitch about Honing Hood being banned.
They banned that just for your freaking Ranger, right?
Freaking love Honing Hood. It's like one of my favorite cards of all
God.
time.
It's not Icelander. Who was that lady that kicks my butt?
Lexi, you mean?
Lexi, thank you.
I mean, I know why they banned Honing Hood, because Honing Hood is broken when you're going second.
Yeah.
Because you just get a free arsenal. But no, Honing Hood is just such a cool card. And yeah, I was very sad when it got banned. But there are a lot of cards similar to this. They banned a lot of like chess pieces that make a lot of resources.
Yep. And those are the generic
pieces that draw cards for free, right?
Yeah. I was actually just pulling up Ragamuffins because, in a format of this caliber, you don't really want you could play around this ability and have an advantage created, and it's a generic equipment. So again, they really want you to delve down into that class identity.
I mean, no, they banned this card because of Kano.
Probably Kano, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this one, Ragamuffins is broken in Kano, so that's why they banned it. But
gotcha.
A lot of the other headpieces, like, for instance, Mask of Three Tails was one that they banned.
That's just Mask of Momentum Light, right?
It is Mask of Momentum Light. Yeah. And they even banned, like, and this one is kind of sad, but they banned Snapdragon Scalers. Another one of my favorite cards.
No, fuck that. I'm sorry. No, I hate this card. This is again, generic equipment. Everyone plays this card to get that second attack action card with cost low. Everyone plays this card. Gravy plays this card.
Well, you're just upset because, you roll one with Scabs and I just break my Snapdragon Scalers.
Yeah, but I roll one with Scabs to get something that costs 3 off and, get action points back. Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like that's the thing. Like, I sit down and it doesn't matter if it's a wizard or a necromancer or whatever, they play Snapdragon Scalers, And
Wizard. Snapdragon
Wizards
Scaler.
and necromancers are playing Snapdragon Scalers against you?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Is it not?
That's
I
next
don't
level.
think they are.
That's next level.
No. What's the card I'm thinking of? It's boots that give them an action point.
Mage Master boots.
Mage Master, yeah, but that card's still legal.
Okay, well, then there you go.
Yeah. But we are talking about equipment, and the equipment is very interesting because it's so much worse than in CC and Blitz.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you own any copies of the Blade Beckoner equipment from the Hunted, hold on to those, because those are like the default blocking equipment in this format. And then there are certain heroes that get like extremely good equipment, like shockingly good equipment. Like Guardians, for instance, they get like Steel Blade Buckler, which is a 2-block temper, and that's kind of insane. Like, they get so much more block value than all the other heroes, right?
But one of the things,
like KO, for instance, KO gets Knucklehead, and Knucklehead is insane too.
Yeah. I mean, it's September 2.
Heroes have like super nice equipment, so.
But they did ban one of those things that anything that generates free resources, all right, like one just generic resource, like Old Knocker, common card, tap your hero, destroy this, gain 1 resource. All right, doesn't seem broken on the surface, but can really, they banned it for a reason.
Well, I had a long Old Knocker specifically is because of the instant ability. They still have the other ones that do.
I had a long argument with Andrew Lorenz, who I know is listening to this right now. Old Knocker got banned specifically for Icelander because you could block for 1 and then you could, as an instant, destroy it for the resource. But yeah, like, Ning is right. You've got like Blossom of Spring, for instance, so you can get 1 resource pretty easily in the format.
Well, what about this one then? Heart and Cross Strap.
They did ban Heart and Cross Strap, and
this is banned.
Yeah, as well as Vest of the First Fist. So they banned those 2 cards. They basically said, we don't want chess pieces to make 2 resources, but we are fine with them making 1 resource.
Okay. And what's the one that wasn't banned you just mentioned?
Blossom of Spring, Garland of Spring as well. Those
Which
two
I
are the
think
exact same
is
card.
the same.
Yeah, they do the same thing.
Yeah.
They did a fancy reprint of Blossom of Spring in Super Slam, right? The Garland one.
Yeah, the Garland of Spring. They do the same thing. But either or is like very good in Silver Age. So
hey guys, should I complain to LSS about using my image in these cards? Again, they're going with this,
Like perfect in this one.
Yeah, Peck Perfect and Garland of Spring. I mean,
I'm
LSS,
sorry
where's
to
my
say,
cutback?
but James White, he just said like, oh, I want your autograph to you. Remember when you gave your autograph to him? Well, it turns out he made you sign a contract that said they can use your likeness on any card they want.
Oh man, I should have read the fine print. But you know what?
You should have read the fine print.
You know, James White knew that I read contracts like I read cards. I just don't do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Did we finally learn what Decompose does?
I did after playing Florian after the first week. All right. So what other things do we want to talk about on this ban list? Anything that's interesting? I do like how they kind of kept some of the cards that was banned in Classic Constructed just still banned in Silver Age.
Yeah.
Go figure that the format, even though it's changed, some of these cards are just, busted. Cash In being one of them. The one I like your guys' opinion on is something. It's this one.
NIMBY, yeah.
Banned.
NIMBY.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So is it for RKO specifically, or is it because they just don't want you to have a free pitch?
It's not even the free pitch. It's just there are plenty of heroes that are really good at giving this go again.
Okay.
And if you can give NIMBY go again easily, it becomes very broken, right? But yes, it is very good in RKO. So Thomas is very sad.
Well, yeah. And
that
of course,
RKO still gets 6 copies of Mocking Blow.
Yeah.
Which is RKO's best card. So
yeah,
I think he'll be fine.
Some of the other things that are still banned. Oh, one of the things that I found surprising that was banned, right? And this does make sense, right? Because playing KO recently,
Vigorous,
right?
You mean?
Vigorous Smash Up. I can see why, because it gives you 4 points of value: 3 to the block, 1 for the vigor, setting you up for next turn. Swinging and pulping for free after you block out your whole hand seems pretty damn good if you have 2 vigor smash ups in your hand. So
well, also I think the big thing and stuff too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
The big thing here is that KO has a lot of 2-cost go again attacks into 2-cost like other attacks, like a Bear Fangs for 8.
Yeah.
That costs 4. So that is very, very awkward off normal hands, but is way less awkward off of a card like Vigorous Smash Up that gives you the extra 4th resource. So you can pitch it all off of a blue.
Yeah. And 100% agree. So I like how that just shows you that they're also thinking about the current set and previous sets to kind of make sure that this is balanced. Of course, you still got your Rosetta Thorns, balanced your stubby hammerers. Did you know it was hammerers, right? Not hammers. It's not stubby hammers. I'm not sure if you guys ever. It's ers. Anyways, Zephyrnito, Waning Moon, all banned, right? So I like it. I don't know, man. I'm excited for this format. The more I get to know about it, what I don't agree with is Bonds' Ancestry. Why is that banned? I'm just joking, guys. I know how good that card is.
No,
so
stop it.
All right. So that's what we. Go ahead.
Why is Amulet of Ice banned? I obviously wasn't there for Icelander.
Of course,
or Lexi.
yeah. I mean, Amulet of Ice was banned in CC for a bit because of Icelander.
Interesting.
No, this card's busted.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. I've only ever seen it from the Jarl Armory deck, and I'm like, I guess it's fine.
Yeah, no, it's a little less good in the Jarl Armory deck, but when you can play it for free from your arsenal and give your opponent a Frostbite, and then later on, sack it for the effect, it's very, very powerful.
Oh, because it's her ability that makes her play it off. Non-attack action cards. That's an item card, though, right?
Yeah, but it's still a non-attack.
It's still action.
Yeah, I see it.
Action card.
Yeah, wow.
Gotcha. So it's Icelander's fault. I see.
It is.
Yeah. Interesting. Makes
sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wizards are traditionally like some of the strongest heroes in Blitz and in Commoner. So
Hmm.
they did a lot of bans
Tweaking.
to make wizard
Yeah.
not a problem, right?
Yeah. I mean, I really am getting excited for this format the more we hear the discussions. And you know, there's going to be so many videos coming out about Silver Age, you know, and again, it's because of the excitement. We know this is going to be a good format, and anything that brings in new players is just going to be, you know, fantastic. I think it's always going to be good for
Yeah.
the game. Right? We love this game because it's so competitive, right? Like, what else do you guys want to talk about before I go into the last section of this? And I want your opinions on something.
I mean, I think maybe it might be like a good idea to talk about like maybe what we want, what we're thinking of building,
Okay.
and what we think is going to be good in the format, right?
All right.
Like just initially,
Mhm.
like based on the ban list, based on the cards, what do you think is going to be top tier? Um, and I guess I can start off there. I have been building a bit of Silver Age, fuming out of my head. I'm so angry trying to build my Lexi lists without Honing Hood.
Yeah.
I had to give up on Snapshot Lexi because Honing Hood was too important in the deck. I can't believe James White did this to us after we let him use Will's likeness. But yeah, I also built a Ice Lexi, and honestly, it was a lot of fun to do because there are a lot of cards that nobody has ever heard of
Hmm.
that all of a sudden like are now good, right? Like the weapon Shiver is very very good in Silver Age, and it's a lot of fun to play with.
You know,
And I
I'm
don't
looking
think
that up
either
because
of you know what it does.
you know, I
Yeah,
really did. I have to look it up because I never even seen this card. All right. So
You
for our
serious?
listeners, this is Shiver. It's a once per turn instant one resource. You may put an arrow card from your hand face up into an empty arsenal zone you control. If you do, choose one. It gains +1 to end turn. It gains dominate to end turn. Okay. All
yeah.
right.
So just giving
It's
your
pretty good.
arrows dominate in a format where Sink Below and Fate Foreseen are banned
Yeah.
seems kind of okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, Shiver Lexi has been a lot of fun to play. And to be honest, another one, and this one like just looking through Fabre, I kind of read the card for the first time and I said, wait a second, that's really
Mhm.
good. But Mask of Malicious Manifestations.
Yeah.
Interesting. Love the art. Seen this, never really read it. Do you want to give us a reading for those listeners out there? It's an Oni mask with some blood drenched on the face.
Yeah, sure. It's a block 1 blade break headpiece for assassin and ranger. It says, as an action, you may pay 1, put a card from your hand, or you have to pay 1 rather. Put a card from your hand or arsenal on the bottom of your deck, destroy the mask, reveal cards from the top of your deck until you reveal an attack action card. Then you put it in your hand, then shuffle go again.
Hmm.
Yep. So like
A lot
without
of
Honing Hood, I needed a way to like cycle my arsenal. And when I saw this card, I said, wait a second. I have never read this card before, and it's perfect.
Huh.
And it was very cool to see, like when building a deck, just cards I have literally never bothered to look at, and just be like, "Wait, this will do." So, yeah, just
Mhm.
deck build some Silver Age decks. The format is on Talishar, so
Yeah.
yeah, you'll definitely read some cards that you've never seen before, and it'll be pretty cool. But yeah, so
I
that's
want it to
Lexi.
be known, Evan, that when I first looked into this game, and I was like, yeah, sure, I should buy some cards just to kind of play around with them. And the first deck I bought was a Lexi Blitz deck. So
I'm
I'm right
proud
there
of
with
you.
you.
I'm proud of you, Ning. I knew immediately. I was like, oh, I feel a kindred spirit,
There's
and now I know
something
why.
about this guy.
Something
Yeah,
about this guy.
absolutely.
But yeah, so
Absolutely.
I've been enjoying playing Lexi, and I've also been looking at the format. Honestly, it's a pretty wide open format at the moment.
Mhm.
But if I were to guess, like who is at the top, I would probably say some kind of ninja, like Ira or Fi seems very very powerful.
Interesting, because I
Um,
was going to say assassin personally, but Ning, you want to cover yours first, and I'll tell you my take.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's a huge surprise. It's between one of three
Let me
that
guess. Aurora.
I've been kind of thinking about. Aurora's one of them.
Right? Your somersault
Puffin's
got
the
banned.
other one.
Okay.
And then the third one is the Arachne. Which one was it? Solitary Confinement. The Go Again one.
Yep, makes sense.
Huh.
Yep.
By the way, electromagnetic somersault's banned.
It sure is.
Oh, I mean, it's for the better.
I mean,
honestly.
the lightning heroes still have a lot of good attacks, so I definitely think lightning heroes are going to be pretty good as well.
Yeah.
Assassins might be good. I'm unsure just because like they don't have
The whole power
nearly
is
as much
codex and stuff,
disruption.
right?
Yeah, they don't have
Yeah.
codex. They don't have leave no witness. But there are
Yeah.
some
They
good
don't have their fancy
unveiled
contracts.
cards.
Yeah.
So
Here's the thing about, I agree with you. I think Arachne, I think your young Mario, Arachne Solitary Confinement, I think they're really poised to do well in this format because you took out all the D-Racks, like you were saying, Evan, but the attack reactions for the assassins were not touched, and the front pumps were not touched. You still got cut from the same cloth. You still have all these other things that pump up these attacks to go over wide, and you're in a 20 health format. I don't know. I think Assassin's going to be eating pretty dang good. Now, they lose a little bit their edge on the daggers, so you might have some issues marking targets because, you have to sacrifice your dagger to break it. But pick up the point's still legal, right? The one that generates the Graphene Chalisra, still legal, right? So, I
Yeah, but you
mean,
can't flick your daggers as well easily now,
oh,
right? So
but
you
you
can't really
can.
do
You can flick
mark
the
on
first
command.
one, right? What's that
Yeah,
card's
yeah,
name?
I know. I'm saying it's not as easy.
dangerous digits, I think.
Yes,
Danger digits.
danger
Yeah.
digits. Yeah, so true. You can't do the ones that stack up all these attacks, and yeah, you could do the first, but I think their pure front pumps and dagger attack reactions are still really strong, right? Regardless, right? Because they're still
Yeah.
0 cost, 1 cost. So, and then of course KO, and I'm not favored, but he's got really good numbers. And you said it earlier, Evan. He got a lot of go again. He got a lot of ways to get extra action points. That's not scab skins.
His armor suite is just kind of busted too.
He's
Like,
got one of the best armor suites out there. Like you saw
you
the
get
knucklehead.
bark skin. You get the knucklehead.
Yep.
You get freaking
Ooh,
the
not that bark skin.
beaten trackers.
Forgot what the other one's called. But yeah, you get the bare face, so you get a lot of strong attacks. So, like, I feel like KO is pretty poised to do well too. All right.
Yeah. I mean, pretty open.
Yeah, like you said, Evan, I think it is pretty open.
And you still get one of your favorite cards, Strongest Survive in Brute too.
Yep.
Very
I do
cool.
like Strongest 5. And if it's evergreen format, hey, Reinar was LL'd in in Blitz for a reason, right? I'm just saying.
Reinhardt's also getting some new cards from the Armory deck, which we'll talk about soon. So
I've already built my deck, by the way. I want to try
Yeah,
it, but it's not. You can't do it in February until they actually have the cards ready. But I'm ready. We're one. Yeah, Talishar. I might bring it to Armory tomorrow and just proxy the cards out. I need some testing with it. Yeah, so I'm really excited about this. But let's go ahead and what else do you guys want to talk about as far as this format goes?
I think that's about it. I think
Okay.
it's like a pretty well balanced format. Like we talked a bit about Guardian, for instance.
Yeah.
Guardian also is quite good. They've got like a lot of armor, and they still get cards like Boulder Drop, for instance. Boulder Drop, my love. So
Pleiades, right? The new hero that came out. A lot of her suspense aura generates still on an instant, still not majestic. All right, maybe her some power cards, but she can play crush effects just as well as any of the other guardians. So I'm pretty happy with that.
yeah.
I don't know. I think this is exciting.
No, it's very exciting. Just every single class, there's like at least one hero where I look at it and I say, wait a second, this seems really good in Sage. And a format where like every single class has like heroes that are good, that just sounds like the healthiest format there is, And I hope that's what happens. Like the big issue is that like we don't have data, right? So keep your eyes peeled for some of the battle hardens. There are going to be some battle hardens at the end of this year that are Sage. So we'll take a look at the results, maybe see like, is this actually like a healthy, wide open format? Who are the top dogs?
Yeah.
Because I'm super interested in all that.
And I think that's a good point to bring, which that was all the facts we kind of know, plus a little bit of our own take on the ban list and stuff. Again, those links will be below. But I have in the show notes something called speculation. Before we go into that, I'm not sure if for our viewers they were aware, but what releases on February 13th is 10 pre-constructed decks. But they are called Chapter 1, all right, KO Icelander, Viceroy, and Bravo. Chapter 2, Azalea, Phi, Dorinthia, Enigma, and Arachne. The reason why I'm saying this is speculation is why do you guys think they're called chapters? All right, I'm just curious. And then I'm going to give you my take on this. I want to see what you think.
I think they're just releasing them in a certain
in sets. Yeah.
So
I mean,
just a release
could
and
be
set.
a story.
All right. So my thought is, what happens if they're going to cycle these things out? Right? Like for this format, you're allowed to play chapter 1, 2, and 3, right? And then they cycle out every year, every 2 years, and then it's now chapter 1's not playable, but chapter 2, 3, and 4 is, right?
No,
and that way,
I don't see that because they very explicitly mentioned they want Sage to be like the eternal format.
yeah.
Right, where all the heroes are legal. So I don't see them just being like, hey, all these heroes are now illegal.
Well, let's say if it's like, okay, you have an open stage format, but let's say in this tournament or Battle Hardened, it's only chapters 1, 3, and 5, right? I'm just spitballing here again, but why do you think they call it chapters? Is it just so we can have
just like they don't want to release 10 decks all at once because that's overwhelming. So they're just releasing them in like 5 apiece, right?
Okay. So you don't think
one for every class except for Necromancer?
I don't think it could be special, but I don't see it anything happening.
Okay. And that's just my speculation on that, because I was thinking, how do they keep the game healthy, or how do they keep the format fresh in an evergreen format? What would they do? And so if this is going to be the new competitive scene, right, or generating new interest, or
I
new
feel
sets,
like they've been pretty healthy with bans, right?
Mhm.
And I feel like that's how you keep the format fresh. If there's anything too egregious, you just ban something. But more importantly, like an issue people have had with CC that I personally have also had a bit is rotation, right? Because CC, people keep saying like, oh, CC is an evergreen format, all your cards will stay legal there. No, they don't. I've been waiting for 2 years for a new Lexi, and we haven't gotten one yet. So, yeah, like,
Man,
eventually
it's really funny if people know it's going to be a ranger.
Hold on. Say that again, Ning. You broke up a little bit. Just want to make sure I heard you.
Oh, that's my thing. I was just saying it's gonna be really funny if like Aurora 2.0 that they're advertising becomes like Elemental Ranger for whatever reason.
See, Ning, now you're speaking my language.
Because I know for a fact, right? Because the reason why I speculate maybe something interesting,
but I would love.
Yeah. Because Levia's specialization card is a shadow attack action card, or maybe it's a shadow action card, but it's not a shadow brute. So they've clearly left some sort of space available so that these people, pre-existing heroes can come back as a different class.
Yeah.
That would be cool. But yeah, so like, I mean, to be honest, I don't actually see that happening, but I would personally be very happy.
All right.
But I guess going back to that, so CC is technically a rotating format, right? Like, let's be real. Like, if a hero rotates out, eventually later down the line, you'll get a replacement for that hero. But that could take years.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting on heroes, so it's not a perfect format. So because of that, having Silver Age being an eternal format, every hero is playable. That's a big deal, right?
Okay.
To have the sort of 2 major formats, CC and Sage, one be rotating and one be eternal.
Okay. I can kind of see that then. Now, one of the things we didn't mention, but when they did say on the Dev Talks, is the upcoming set 18, code PEN, was designed with Silver Age in mind. So they're saying that that's when the format will truly bloom. Their words, not mine, right? And it'll feature a high set with a full high quality set of rare level equipment to add optionality to the Silver Age loadouts. Thoughts on that before we start wrapping this up?
Yeah, it's tough to say without
if anything, it'll probably just Yeah, I'm sure it'll just make sealed more interesting, if anything else.
Yeah. What do you think PN could stand for? Again, speculation, right?
Penn Island.
Penn Island. All right, Ning. What do you think PN stands for?
I've heard people try to get fancy with it and say like penumbra or something, where
I've
it's
heard
like,
that one too.
oh, viscera related or shadow light, whatever. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe it's a set. Maybe PN is a set. It's just called Pen. And it's a set of, authors and merchants just writing letters to each other. I'm just joking. I was going to say something a little bit more crass and crude,
Absolutely.
but I decided to go a little safer with that, guys. To just not like let you cringe off the cast here.
The
Yeah,
main
only the
art, they're
highest
going to
quality
reprint
joke
Fact
here.
Finding Mission.
Well, I figured
Fact-finding.
it's if we're talking about like laying things on the table, right? That's all I'm saying. So, anything else you guys want to talk about as far as Silver Age goes before we wrap this bad boy up?
No, I think that's it from my side. Format looks exciting.
That's it.
Yeah. Oh, our mascot came in, and Evan, one of our listeners last week, subscribed because of our call to action. I am trying to find that person's name because they were like, subscribing for the belly pat. So if you don't mind giving that good old puppy a belly pat for our friend here.
Oh.
There you go.
He doesn't like it.
All right. And on that note, always keep in mind, every turn is a decision, every decision is a story, and don't forget your damn Tunic Counter. Peace.
Bye-bye.
Oh, so cute.